Hi everyone and welcome to topic 7 for this week. For this week we're going to be looking at chapters 24 and 25. You'll notice I have some sample questions here as these will help assist with your effort and what we're looking at for this week, and it might just give you a good foundation. I think that will be much more of assistance. You also have the week 6 discussion, and in the week 6 discussion make sure to focus on having the initial post by Wednesday, which includes an APA formatted in-text citation and reference to support your work, and one peer response, which can be to any of the questions. Now for this week also you're going to be having some questions over chapters 24 and 25. Let's review some of the questions that you might see. Now I'm going to just review the 20 questions that you're going to be looking at. So fiat money is a question you're going to get, and fiat money is where it's not money that has any value. It only has money value because the government states it does. M2 and M1. M1 is the most liquid part of our currency. M2 is looking at anything M1 plus whatever in M2. M1 consists of the most liquid part of our currency. With question 4, when you look at a bank deposit of 100,000 and 20,000 is set aside to meet the reserve requirement, what percentage is that? Question 5 is looking at a simple banking system, and if you have $10,000 and the reserve requirement is 20%, what is the reserve requirement? How much does the bank have to hold? Question 6 is looking at a commercial bank of 100 puts $100 deposit in, and they're required to hold at the bank $100. Of the $100 that comes in, they have to hold the 100, but when the reserve requirement is 10%, they're only required to hold 10% of the $100, and the rest they can loan out. When you look at checkable deposits, they're created through loans. Why are checkable deposits important for the banking system? Question 8 is looking at how many dollars it takes to attend college each year to annual earnings on a job represents the use of money as what? And money has 3 very important characteristics: medium of exchange, unit of value, and unit of account and store value. The required reserve ratio of a bank, who decides that? And who holds it? Another bank, its required reserve ratio is 10%. It accepts $1,000. What will be the balance? What will they have to hold at the bank, and what can they loan out? Question 11. Which of the following is a desirable property of money? So which property of money is very important? Question 12 is looking at this bank has 500,000 of reserves, has a checkable deposit liability of 400,000 that they owe, and the reserve requirement is 20%. How much can they add to the money supply system? So they have to hold 20% of the 500 at the bank. So what is the actual reserve requirements? So the reserves are 500, that they deposit 400,000. Which of the following is the most liquid store of purchasing power? This is something that you can go right now and use out of those 4 choices and buy something. Question 14, the major protection against sudden mass attempt to withdraw cash from banks is what? So what is the protection that we have to make sure that people do not take out their money? The ease at which an asset can be converted into a medium of exchange. That is looking like at, if I have a good, what would make it turn right into cash right away? Question 16. If a bank receives a new checkable deposit of $10,000, what can the bank loan out? So they have to hold 20%, 80% of it they can loan out. What are the primary functions of money? The Federal Reserve is divided into how many districts? And what does not appear on a bank's balance sheets? Out of these, what does not appear on a bank's balance sheets? If you look at an example. And a bank can create money by doing what? Basically, a bank creates money by the money that you put in the bank. A bank is able to loan out. So that is a very important part and function of our economy. So those are the questions that you're going to see for this week. So make sure to focus on those when you review and look at some of the examples I have. But I look forward to your effort this week.